Hello and welcome to the FEMA GO Pass-Through Application and Sub-Application Process Training. This guide provides instructions for FEMA GO external users to log in, complete a pass-through application, complete a pass-through sub-application, submit a pass-through sub-application to FEMA, and delete a sub-application. The guide used for this training was created by the GPD Communications, Culture, Analytics, and Training branch. By the end of this training, you will be able to log in as an external user, complete a pass-through application, complete a pass-through sub-application, submit a completed pass-through sub-application to FEMA, and delete a sub-application. The subjects we will cover in the table of contents include Section 1, Training Roles and Login, Section 2, complete a pass-through application. Section 3, complete a pass-through sub-application. Section 4, submit a pass-through sub-application. Section 5, delete a sub-application. And Section 6, FEMA GO Help Desk. Now let's review the roles for this training and how to log in as an external user. This training is for the following external roles: Authorized Organization Representative, AOR, Subrecipient Authorized Representative, SAR, Programmatic Member, PM, Subrecipient Member, SM, Organization Member, OM, Grant Writer, GW, Financial Member, FM. Please note that the available screens you see are based on your role in program. They may differ from the screens displayed. To log in to FEMA GO as an external user, the first step is to go to the FEMA GO webpage, go.fema.gov. The second step as an external user is to select Sign In with login.gov. Once you are logged in at login.gov, you will be redirected back to the FEMA GO webpage. If you have not yet created an account with login.gov, please follow the steps within the FEMA GO Startup Guide. There are multiple steps to completing a pass-through application. We will walk through the following steps: Start an application, My Application landing page, SAM.gov profile, Sub-applications and budget summary, Assurances and certifications, AOR contact information, and signature confirmation. To start an application, Step 1, scroll through the list of grants under the Apply for a New Grant section until you locate the grant application you would like to start. Then select Start Application. This will open a new window. Next, select your organization from the drop-down menu and select Start Your Application to begin. Please note that an AOR must start an application before sub-applications can be submitted. Once you select Start Your Application, you will be directed to the My Application landing page. On this page, the left navigation panel includes the headings for each section within your application. These sections may vary slightly depending on your program. When you select a section heading, the main body will display relevant content to review and complete. The first section of the pass-through application is reviewing your SAM.gov profile. Please review the content in the main body for accuracy. If there are errors within your SAM.gov profile, please correct the errors in SAM.gov and allow 24 to 48 hours for a system sync after SAM.gov has processed the change, before checking again for accuracy. The second section is Assurances and Certifications. Begin by selecting Assurances and Certifications within the left navigation panel. Then, within the main body, select the box to indicate if a SFLLL is not required. If a SFLLL is required, then you must complete the drop-down questions and insert the required information without any errors before moving on. Please note, an AOR must sign the grant assurances and certifications before a pass-through sub-application can be submitted to FEMA. The third section is Sub-Applications and Budget Summary. To begin, select Sub-Applications within the left navigation panel. Then review the information regarding the available links within the main body. Sub-Applications submitted to FEMA, Sub-Applications submitted to me, and Draft Sub-Applications. If you know the specific Sub-Application grant ID, you can search using the search bar in the main body. Displayed below the sub-application information within the main body will be the budget summary. Please note the budget summary will only display once sub-applications have been submitted to FEMA. We will be returning to this sub-application section later in this training. The fourth section is AOR contact information. In this section, you must confirm or update your contact information. Please review the contact information within the main body. If updates are needed, select the link to edit your contact info to make any necessary updates or changes. Then select the checkbox at the bottom of this section to certify that the contact information is accurate. Please note a secondary phone number must be added to this section. The fifth section is signature confirmation. As an AOR, you need to review each certification statement within this section and select the checkbox next to each certification statement. If you are providing your signature for the award, you must enter your password to verify your signature. Next, select the Submit button to submit the application. Once the application is successfully submitted, you will be redirected back to the Assurances and Certifications page. A blue banner will then appear at the top of the main body to confirm that the application has been signed. After completing this section, sub-organizations can complete and submit their pass-through sub-applications for review and submission. Please note, after selecting Submit, a green banner will be visible on the My Application landing page, stating that sub-applications can now be submitted to FEMA. There are multiple steps to completing a pass-through sub-application as an AOR, SAR, or SM. We will walk through the section links within the left navigation panel to start and complete a sub-application, including sub-application information, contact information, community, scope of work, schedule, budget, cost effectiveness, evaluation, comments and attachments, assurances and certifications, review and submit, and sign and submit. To start a sub-application, once you are logged in, step 1, scroll through the list of grants under the Apply for a New Grant section. When you locate the sub-application you would like to start, select Start Sub-Application. A new window will open. In this new window, you will need to, step 2, select the organization you are applying for from the drop-down menu. Step 3, select the organization you are applying to from the drop-down menu. Step 4, create a new sub-application title. Step 5, sub-application type will be covered on the next slide. The fifth and last step of starting a sub-application is to select a sub-application type. This step is extremely important because the type you select affects the questions and sections you must complete within the sub-application. You also cannot change the sub-application type after you have selected Start Your Sub-Application. Please note that the sub-application types you see in the drop-down menu varies based on your specific program. The 5 types are as follows. Type 1, Management Cost. A separate sub-application for assistance to an applicant to manage its awarded sub-application or sub-applications. Type 2, Plan. A sub-application to develop or update a hazard mitigation plan. Type 3, Project. A sub-application for any mitigation activity to reduce risk, including education and outreach. Type 4, Project Scoping. A sub-application to assist with the critical elements of developing other project sub-applications, such as developing mitigation strategies, obtaining data, EHP compliance concerns, and other activities. Type 5, technical assistance, a sub-application for providing technical assistance to sub-applicants as they develop their sub-applications. After starting your sub-application, the first section is completing the sub-applicant information. Please start with selecting your submission type and sub-applicant type from the drop-down menus. Then answer all of the remaining questions contained within this section. Once all questions are answered, select Continue to move to the next section. The second section is contact information. In this section, you will start with adding a subrecipient authorized representative. After you add a SAR, you need to add a point of contact. In the POC window, you need to select or add an individual and enter all of their information, including their mailing address. Once both are added, select Continue to move to the next section. The third section is Community. Here you are identifying communities that will benefit from this activity. To find a community or communities, select the Find Communities button. A new window will open. In this new window, select Search and an automated list of communities should appear. From this list, please select the applicable communities. Once you have selected the communities and close the window, you can attach any applicable documents. Then select Continue to move to the next section. The fourth section is Scope of Work. In this section, you will start with entering a sub-application title. After you enter a title, you need to select a primary activity type and a primary sub-activity type along with any additional activity types. Then you will need to complete the required text fields within the main body before moving on to the next section. You can attach any applicable documents for support in this section too. Once complete, select Continue to move to the next section. The fifth section is Schedule. This section involves specifying a work schedule for any activities. Please start by selecting Add a Task to open a new window. In this new window, you need to enter a task name, task description, task start month as a number, and the duration of the task in months. You can enter multiple tasks, however, there must be at least one. After you add a task, you need to add an overall estimated duration for your proposed activity in months. Then you must add proposed start and end dates for your project. Once everything is added and entered into this section, select Continue to move on to the next section. The sixth section is Budget. The information you add to this section needs to directly link to your scope of work and work schedule. Start by selecting Add Cost Type to add a new cost type. An additional window will open where you can select a cost type. Once a cost type is added, an additional blue section will appear in the main body where you must select Add an Item. A new window will open and you can fill out fields pertaining to the cost item. You must add at least one item greater than $0 for your cost estimate. After adding a cost type and items, be sure to review the cost estimate section for accuracy and add any additional information as needed. After reviewing the cost estimates, continue to the cost share section. Start by reviewing the proposed federal and non-federal share. Then, as necessary, input and adjust your federal and non-federal dollar amounts. Next, select the Add Funding Source button and complete the required fields. Lastly, attach any applicable documents and select Continue. The seventh section is Cost Effectiveness. Select all that apply regarding the cost effectiveness for the project and fill out any required information. You must select at least one option, but there is no limit to how many you may select. Please note, if not applicable is selected, then you must provide a justification. Then enter the required project cost information in the text fields. Next, select an option for each of the required questions. Lastly, enter any optional comments, attach any applicable documents, and select Continue. The eighth section is Evaluation. In this section, You need to select yes or no for each question and provide written responses as requested. Please note that depending upon your answers, additional questions may appear. The questions in this section are required and must be answered before moving on. Once all questions are answered, you can attach any applicable documents and select Continue to go to the next section. The ninth section is Comments and Attachments. Please review all attachments in this section for accuracy and add any comments as needed. Then select Continue to go on to the next section. The 10th section is Assurances and Certifications. In this section, you begin by selecting the checkbox to indicate if a SFLLL is not required. If you have selected the box, you can select Continue to move to the next section. If you did not select the checkbox because a SFLLL is required, then you must answer the drop-down questions before you can select Continue. Once this section is complete, please select Continue to move on to the final section of the sub-application. The 11th section involves reviewing and submitting the sub-application. Any errors in the sub-application are shown here with red exclamation marks and need to be fixed before you can submit the sub-application for signature. Once all errors are resolved and the sub-application is complete, select the Submit for Signature button in the upper right-hand corner to send the sub-application to the SAR or AOR for a review and signature. The last step is for the SAR or AOR to sign and submit the application before it goes to the AOR for a review. After you select Submit for Signature in the Review section, a new section will appear within the left navigation and main body. As an SAR or AOR, you need to review each certification statement, select the checkboxes if you are providing your signature for the award, and enter your password to verify your signature. Lastly, select Submit to submit the sub-application, or select Return to Edit Sub-application if edits are needed. Once the application is successfully submitted, you will be redirected back to the sub-applicant information page. Please note, after selecting Submit, the status on the sub-application landing page will state Submitted to Recipient. The next step we are covering within this training is how to submit a pass-through sub-application to FEMA as an AOR. We'll cover how to navigate to the sub-application, review instructions, supporting documents, sub-application submission, errors and recommendation, submit to FEMA, and the sub-application submitted to FEMA view. To navigate to a sub-application, step 1, select My Grants under the My Work section on the Welcome screen. Then locate the sub-application you would like to view and select Continue. Section 1 is Review Instructions. Start by opening the Review panel on the right side of your screen. Then select Review Instructions to open the drop-down section. In the drop-down, review the instructions before proceeding with the review. Section 2 is Supporting Documents. Select Supporting Documents in the Review panel to open the drop-down section. Then select the Choose Files link to upload any supporting documentation used for completing this review. Please note that only certain file types are accepted, and it is recommended that you review the accepted file types list before uploading. Section 3 is Sub-Application Submission. Select Sub-Application Submission in the Review panel to open the drop-down section. Then select the Sub-Application Submission link in the drop-down section to change the main body to display the funding opportunity information for the sub-application. Please review the funding opportunity and funding category drop-downs in the main body. Section 4 is Errors and Recommendation. Start by selecting the Errors drop-down within the Review panel and fix any errors as needed. Once all errors are resolved, select the Recommendation drop-down within the Review panel to open the drop-down section. Then select an overall recommendation for the sub-application and enter a required status justification. Next, select the checkbox to send an email notification of your recommendation to the sub-recipient. This step is optional. Lastly, select the Submit button to approve the sub-application. Two green banners will appear, one stating that the sub-application was approved, and the other stating that sub-applications can now be submitted to FEMA. Please note, now that the sub-application has been approved, the final step is to submit a sub-application to FEMA. Section 5 is Submit to FEMA. Scroll down within the main body to view the sub-application section as previously shown. Then select the Sub-Application Submitted to Me link. Next, find the sub-application from the list within the main body and utilize the Actions dropdown to select Submit to FEMA. This will direct you to a new page. On this new page, start by opening the Review panel on the right side of the screen and complete the steps that were previously shown for review instructions, supporting documents, sub-application submission, and errors. After completing those sections, you must select an overall recommendation for the sub-application and enter the required status justification. Lastly, select Submit. Section 6 is Sub-Application Submitted to FEMA View. Now that the sub-application has been submitted to FEMA, there will be a new view when you scroll down in the Sub-Application section. When you select the Sub-Application Submitted to FEMA link, a pie chart as well as funding information will be available. Please review the information in this section for accuracy. Please note, adjusting the funding category dropdowns will change the pie chart view. Lastly, we'll cover how to delete a sub-application if needed. To delete a sub-application, start by navigating to the sub-application section as previously shown and select Draft Sub-Applications. Then under the Actions dropdown, select Delete Sub-Application. This option is only available if the status is pending submission. A new window will open. Next, review the statement and select the Delete button to confirm that you want to delete this sub-application. Please note, this action cannot be undone. This ends our training. If you have additional questions, please contact the FEMA Go Help Desk at femago@fema.dhs.gov or call 877-585-3242. They are open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time.